Good afternoon, dear students. Let me begin my lecture. I present here my presentation about the making of the nation, a comprehensive overview of the people's invasions, cultural changes, and institutions that shaped early Britain, from the first hunter-gatherers to the consolidation of feudal monarchy after 1066. This presentation is written for higher education students studying early British history and uses clear, informative language, use careful detail, so each slide stands on its own. Here, you see early man from ice to island. Human arrivals and tools. Earliest evidence, stone tools. It began from 250,000 before the century. Two distinct tool-making traditions are visible: flake tools common across Northern Europe, and a core-based hand axe technology that spread from Africa into Britain. And hunters, gatherers, and the island, as the Ice Age ended in 10,000 before the century, small bands of hunters, fishers, and foragers roamed a land that greatly became an island by 5,000 before century, when rising seas flooded the land bridge to Europe. And Neolithic arrivals and farming from 3,000 before the century. Neolithic people traveled in small round boats and introduced settled farming, pottery, and animal husbandry. These settles likely came from Siberia or Northwest Europe and concentrated in the west and southern parts of Great Britain. But on that time, it was not called as Great Britain. It was called only as Britain. So this slide says us about Bronze Age to Iron Age. What the people do on that time? They bigger people and hill forts, bigger culture. Tall, robust people who introduced pottery beakers, new cereals, notable barley, and bronze working. The Baker period marks increased individual graves and changes in social status, suggesting leaders with specialized skills in metal work and warfare. Okay, shift from hands to hill forts. From 1300 before census, Henge-based central authority waned, settled farming communities, better soil management, and fortified hilltop settlement, hill forts, they called, emerged as new local centers of power, particularly in the Thames Valley and Southeast. By the late Bronze Age and into the Iron Age, the appearance of superior iron tools and weapons and the construction of hill forts reflect technological progress and the shifting power from ceremonial centers to local agricultural elites. And the third slide says us about the Celts arrival culture and society. Do you remember who was Celts? But usually we say that Celts, but in historical literature, you may find them as Celts. In Russian or in other languages, they call as, and read is as Celts. From 700 before the centuries, Waves and Celtic peoples arrived from Central and Western Europe. Celt society was tribal and regional. Kingship often depended on personal loyalty and marital skill. The priestly class, the dryers memorized law, religion, and medicine, preserving tradition orally rather than in writing. Women in Celtic society appeared to have enjoyed comparative independence. Renowned leaders such as Boadicea or Boudica famously resisted as Rome. Now, the next slide gives information about Roman Britain conquest, administration, and legacy. Invasion and occupation. Julius Caesar visited in 55 before century. Full-scale occupation began in AD 43. Roman control extended over the southern half of Britain, establishing towns, villas, and roads. Roman legions were stationed at York, Chester, and Fairline. Hadrian's Wall marked the northern limit of effective control. And what about urban life and economy? That time, Roman towns, colony, or municipal civitates became centers of administration, trade, and literacy. Villas supported agricultural production for local markets and export. Roman roads and town planning left a durable imprint of Britain's infrastructure. And Roman rule brought literacy, legal institutions, and trade links. After the legends, withdrew after degrees 409, Roman British society struggled to resist raids. The Roman administrative framework and roads, however, endured the shaped subsequent settlements. And the next slide, we know about Anglo-Saxon migrations and the formation of kingdoms. Okay, the migration patterns from the 5th century, Germanic groups, Angles, Saxons, and Jutes migrated to settle, establishing family villages and eventually kingdoms such as Wessex, Mercia, and Northumbria. And their language and place names. Old English spread widely, renaming landscapes with ing family, ham farm, and town settlement, and leaving a lasting linguistic legacy. Reading, Nottingham, and etc. Have you ever heard about them? Yes, of course, we have some information from the first and the second lectures about their forming. And the government and society, the Whiteton King's Council. Whiteton is a King's Council and Shire system and Shire Review Sharif emerged, organizing administration and royal authority. Agricultural advances, the heavy plow and the strip field system encouraged cooperation and shaped rural life. And Christianity, it is very interesting topic in Rally. You may you may take this presentation and at home you may introduce with the other slides. For example, the 6th slide is about Christianity restored Celtic and Roman churches. From here, you may know how was organized the churches of, especially Roman churches in Great Britain, or about their churches. And the next is the Vikings. I know that you have more information about Vikings. Yes, especially you know the cartoons about Vikings, yes? They are very interesting people in really. Their lives is very interesting. So you may take more and a lot of information from this slide too. Okay, and long-term legacies you may see here. And the last, I want to say you that the cultural layering and institutions in Britain. Thank you for your attention. My presentation is over. Let's cover it. Thanks for your attention.